What's up, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the 1796 Sports Podcast. A victorious edition as Tennessee basketball gets, no doubt, their best win of the season over Auburn in Nashville. Um, just an incredible game. I think it proves what I've been saying all year, Jim, that this team can beat anybody in the country. Um, and it was just nice to see this team, put it together against the elite of the elite competition.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, Auburn Tigers are. Some people say. I mean, without Cooper Flagg, I think Auburn is easily the number one team in the country. Um,
Yep.
and who knows about with all that with Duke? But talk about Auburn. I mean, they didn't really play to their best today. So, but Tennessee did. Tennessee came out, and I mean, in our group chat, I texted and said this was the cleanest first half we've seen in a long time for the Vols, and they took that first half and rolled with it into the second. But yeah, phenomenal game. Big minutes from Dubar.
Yeah.
He played fantastic. Even though it doesn't look crazy on the stat sheet, but man, those couple times getting to the basket, man, that dude's a brick wall. Um, but yeah, Okpara, great game on the defensive end. It may look crazy because Janai Broom had 23-7, but he really didn't have that kind of night. It didn't feel like it. I don't know about you, but it didn't feel like it was the Janai Broom show.
No. I mean, the only time he was scoring was when, they would run a good set and he would get deep, and it was, Broom's going to score from there over pretty much anybody. But like you said, Dubar is probably the most unsung hero from this game. I mean, he played 15 minutes. That's the most he's played in a while. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, him finally, just not settling for the three. He only shot one, and getting to the basket those two times was like, oh wow, who's this guy? I mean, if he can do that, just be a threat off the dribble at the least in these next few weeks. I mean, that's just a whole new element teams got to watch out for. And I was very happy with Cade's minutes again. He was battling in the paint. He had 3 offensive rebounds. He held his own against Broom when he had to. Pretty much my only complaint from the game is Igor had a rough stretch there while Auburn was making their comeback, and Okpara, man, we're gonna need you. You can't keep on fouling out. So
That's a fact. And I'll start with Akbar because it's a shorter kind of spurt. But like you said on the last podcast, the dude jumps for everything.
yeah,
It's kind of like Squirrel White at wide receiver, where you just couldn't stay on his feet. But a couple of his fouls were tic tac
yeah,
fouls, man. Like they were
yeah,
calling everything a foul. Everything was a foul on both ends. At least it was on both sides. It wasn't just one team.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Okpara, if he could stay in the game, even if you get to that third, fourth foul, but we're lucky it came at the end of the game
Yeah.
compared to like if it was at the 10-minute mark in the second half, we would have been in a little bit of trouble. Luckily, Cade Phillips has been playing fantastic. He's been an awesome guy to come off the bench, and a lot of people don't realize Okpara is going to be back. Cade
Hmm.
Phillips is going to be back. Estrella is going to be back.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like you said, some of those calls were just crazy. I think there was one on a rebound that they got him for that was it was the
uh,
last one, the very last one that
yeah.
fouled him out. Like he tips the ball out and doesn't touch anybody, and they call a foul on him. But
The guy that hates us, Jay Billis, said
yeah,
that. Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. When Jay Billis is on Tennessee's side, some egregious shit
Yes.
just went down. But again, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I because he's having to guard the best post player in the country this year, but still. So positively though, Zakai Ziegler came to play today. I
Mm.
thought it was exactly what Tennessee needed to pull this off. I mean, he was aggressive going to the basket, and he only made 1 3. And where he really made his hay was the free throw line. After struggling a lot in the last few games from the free throw line, he goes 9 for 9, and we needed every single one of them.
Yeah, not only that, the team went 25 for 27 from the line.
Yeah,
That's massive,
yeah.
massive. I mean, you're looking at a 5 point victory, man. Like we're lucky. Also, I mean, Janai Boone went 5 for 12 from the line,
Hmm.
and you're welcome to everybody. Let me tell you why. Your man bet on Janai Boone to have 31 and a half points, rebounds, and assists, and guess what he had? 30.
30.
And I'm taking this as a win for the balls, and it's all because of me. Because I said, you know what? Me saying he's going to have a good game. Now, let me say, he had a good game. He did. But he didn't have a fantastic game.
Yeah, yeah,
So, you're welcome.
yeah. I think another big spot in the game was the way Chaz started the game with those quick. I think it was 9 or 10 points in the first 8 minutes. Um, only thing I'll ask from Chaz is, can you sustain it the whole game in these next few weeks? Because he did the same thing yesterday against Texas too, and then kind of went quiet in the second half. But I'll take Chaz's spurts any day because it's huge. I mean, especially to start a game like that. I mean, that's what has plagued Tennessee in the games that they've started slow in, is that they can't put the ball in the basket early, and in these last two games he's been doing it right off the bat.
Well, yeah, and this is where we talk about the difference between him and Dalton Connect. I mean,
Mhm.
Dalton Connect, it seemed like you give him the ball, he could drive to the basket, he could shoot mid range, and no hate to Chaz. I mean, Dalton Connect is a different animal. You can see he dropped 32 on the Denver Nuggets the night prior to this game, and you know, but Chaz is hitting his stride at the right time. I mean, this team is. I
Yep.
mean, this team looks like they got an extra spurt of energy, and people could say all they want, like especially like Auburn fans, Bama fans. Oh, like nothing pissed me off more, dude, than getting on Twitter and people going, "Dude, this game doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Like just rest up and get healthy, bro." What?
No,
What? Bro,
no.
you're in the SEC championship, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Look, we talked about it last week. Like, it does matter. Okay, it absolutely matters. You're playing for a trophy, and I don't care what Joe Lenardi says. You're still playing for a one seed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, tomorrow against Florida. So, but every game that, like, if you watched most of the games in this tournament since Wednesday, even
Yeah.
these teams don't go there to tank and lose. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously meaningful to all these programs, all these players, all these coaches. Like, it's an important deal. And when I've I think we ended up saying last week, like, of course we want to go there to try and win, but it's not the end of the world if you don't, because you're probably going to be a two seed anyway. But now that we're here, I mean, we might as well win the damn thing. We're going to play 3 games anyway. Like, these games
Yeah.
matter. These games absolutely matter, and you can tell. It's just like I said. Go rewatch this game from today. It was brutal sometimes physically, like beating each other up. And luckily, like you said, Tennessee shot free throws better. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy that they're doing this now. And, it gives me hope. I mean, I know the concern when you play 3 games in a row, 3 days in a row, is, how are they going to be 4 or 5 days from now in the first round? And then a day after that in the second round. But when Dubois giving you 15, K's giving you 18, Jordan's giving you 29, like, it kind of quells my concerns a little bit because the starters aren't playing the ridiculous number of minutes that
Mm-hmm.
they had to play in SEC play.
Yeah, and like I said, everyone's playing good. There's not
Hmm.
like I get Igor had a rough like 7 minute spurt, but the first half he played good,
Yeah.
and it's fine. Um, Now I do want to say I feel bad for that 16 seed that has to play an Auburn team that has lost 3 tough games in a row, or three out of the last 4,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But I feel bad for that 16 seed. But yeah, let's talk about that, man. I want to talk about what happens if Tennessee wins. Joe Lenardi, listen, the
He's
fact what
smoking. He's smoking crack. Like, that's
he has to be, dude, because like you just beat the everyone, second best team in the country, third best team in the country, whatever you want to say. They're the best team in the country, in my opinion. They had a rough game Tennessee played good. But anyway, you know, I just think Tennessee, if Tennessee beats Florida, how do you not? That would have you beating them twice, one on neutral, one at your home, slate, and then you lost big on the road, but so did they. You beat Bama. How do you not make Tennessee the 1 seed?
It would be unfathomable for that to happen. But I'm, bottom line is I don't. The first thing we need to do is win tomorrow for that to even be a conversation. So that's my number one goal as a fan right now is root these boys on to another trophy. But once that's done, if that happens, then we can raise hell about this 1 seed deal if it doesn't happen for us. I mean, we would be 3-2 over the other three elite teams in the SEC. We would have, I think it's getting close to 15 quad one wins at that point. Like, I don't know how you leave us off the one line. If we beat two teams on the one line going into this thing 2 straight days, like it would make zero sense.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm looking at bracketology right now. I kind of really want Florida spot in the west side because Florida's got Norfolk State, whatever, round one, New Mexico and Creighton, round two, and then you got BYU and Purdue probably to play in that Sweet 16 game versus a Kansas in the Sweet or in the round of 32, and then possibly another Ole Miss rematch in the Sweet 16. So I'd rather have the 1 seed here. It could make a huge difference because honestly, the bracket looks a lot tougher than it did last year. I mean, you don't have that Purdue like Zach Edey type guy, but a lot of these teams are good, man. Like Kansas is Kansas. Everyone can say, "Oh, Kansas ain't the same." Kansas is Kansas, and I do not want to see them in round two.
No, it's happened a lot. If you go back and look at the last 10+ years of this tournament, like when a blue blood has an off season and they end up on that 8-9 line, they a lot of times make a run. I think Kentucky made a run to the Final Four from an 8 seed. Um, like multiple teams have done this before. Michigan State has done it before. Like it would be a tough draw to get Kansas in the second round. So yeah, I totally agree. But luckily, just like Joe Lenardi, none of that's set in stone either. So um, I have a bone to pick with you. Just listening. You think Auburn had a bad game today?
In their sense, yes.
Well, I would say that's because they're playing the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah,
I mean,
Tennessee played great.
I think that's why they didn't hit as many threes. They struggled sometimes turning the ball over. When you play a team like Tennessee, I mean, this happens. I mean, this ain't an anomaly either. We held them to 53 in their own building. Like it's just a testament to how Tennessee plays in my book. I mean, I get what you're saying. To Auburn standards, it's bad, but it's because they're playing us. I mean, Tennessee also did this to Florida, held them to their lowest point total on the year in Knoxville a month ago. So hopefully we see a repeat of that tomorrow. But I'm gonna be mad if we lose tomorrow because I want a trophy. It's not even about the 1 seed. Like we're in this thing now. So
Yeah, well, like you said before, I mean, you're there. Go win it.
yeah, I mean,
You're there. Just, I mean, I was, please, Lord, nobody get hurt. But you're gonna get. I think tomorrow's gonna be another game like this. I mean, Florida is obviously a way better offensive team than Auburn, in my opinion. But Auburn's a way better defensive team than Florida. So, luckily, our strength is defense. But if Tennessee comes out playing offense like they have these past two games, I don't see Tennessee losing this game. If their defense shows up, Jemai Mashak stays the way he's going, because Jemai Mashak and Zakai Ziegler on the defensive end have been phenomenal these two games. Now,
yeah,
for the love of God, Zakai, stop getting two fouls in the first 8 minutes. Like
Yeah.
Zakai, there's one thing that we need is Zakai Ziegler, and we all. I mean, he knows he's been there, done that. But someone, Rick has to tell him, Chaz, Jordan, anybody needs to tell him, like, dude, we need you. And a lot of his fouls have been little knick-knack ones too, like stuff that you shouldn't be fouling him on. Now
Yeah.
I understand some of them, but he's a senior, he's been there forever, and he knows how to do it. I mean, two-time SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but National Defensive Player of the Year. Did he win that? I'm pretty sure he did. Um,
I'm not sure, but I mean, your point still stands. I mean, he's an important player to have on the floor. So
yeah, yeah. Are we gonna talk about that too? Is Jemai Meshack gonna win Defensive Player of the Year?
he ought to. I
He
mean,
should.
he was checking Mazzara a lot. He was checking what's his name? Their hot shot freshman. He was checking Pettiford a lot. He was checking Miles Kelly a lot.
Broom. He was guarding Broom at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he played awesome today. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's and I also want to shout out Jordan Gainey too with 15 off the bench, 8 of 8 from the line. He also, poured it in just like Zakai from the free throw line. And I was, our infamous group chat during these games. I was saying like, we're in the double bonus for the last 10 minutes. We need to keep driving to the basket, come hell or
Yes.
high water, especially with the way the game was being called. So, and that happened, and we cashed in. I mean,
Yep.
and to people who say, I mean, that's why the sole reason we won. I mean, like you said, Auburn shot 22, we shot 27. Like they missed 9, we missed 2, and we won by 5. I mean, there's your difference. Make your free throws. Like Tennessee did, Auburn didn't. Pretty simple.
Pretty even game too when it comes to getting to the line. 22-27. I mean, can't blame the refs, can't blame nothing. It was just like Janai Broom could have. Think about it. Janai Broom could have won the game by himself if he hit his free throws.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
missed 7 of the 9.
yeah.
So
It's and speaking of the refs, just before we move on to other things that happened today, like the way that they let Broom get away with stuff is kind of crazy to me sometimes. I mean, I understand he's player of the year in the SEC. He might be in the
mm-hmm.
national player of the year too, but he gets to just stiff arm Gainey. He gets to push Milicic unprovoked. Like I just don't see why they let players get away with that. I mean, I would say the same thing if our players are doing that. And I know Ziegler pushed somebody, but somebody ran right into him. Like, you know, it's just I would like to have seen a flagrant on the stiff arm.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it like Billis was carrying water for that. Like, oh, that was inadvertent. He looked back at him and then did it. Like, I don't buy that. But anyway, you have any more thoughts on this basketball game, Jim?
Nope. Like I always say, stay healthy. And like you said before, just go win the damn thing. I mean, you're there. You beat this team. They've beat you. This could be another slugfest, man. But to be the team that goes and wins the SEC tournament out of the toughest basketball conference in the country, that should be a huge point to you that you could be the national champion this year. You
Mm-hmm.
could beat anybody. If you could go in and beat Auburn and Florida back to back days, you could beat anybody.
Yeah, and that ought to be a testament to our case for the 1 seed as well, because not a lot of teams in the country can do that. So, last thing I'll say is, win or lose tomorrow, we need ice baths, IVs, everything you can think of on Monday once they get back to Knoxville. So,
And go see who you're going to play. I mean, Selection Sunday tomorrow night, they'll find out who they're going to play. I'm pretty sure, right?
yeah.
Unless they do get the 1 seed, do they have to wait for a play-in or?
Well, yeah, yeah. I think the top 2 1 seeds get the 2 play-in 16 seeds, so probably not in the running for that, but still, we'll find out tomorrow, man. So, any more thoughts on basketball?
No, let's talk about the big elephant in the room right now that we both want to really talk about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Tennessee baseball is, I mean, for lack of a better term, they're the shit. I mean, they are best program in the country according to everybody but D1 baseball. But rankings don't matter yet, so I'm not going to get too mad. But surely to God, come Sunday, they'll be consensus number one. I mean, you take care of them last night on Friday night. I was kind of upset to see Liam Doyle not get in line for a win there,
Mm-hmm.
based off a call on a 3-2 count that could have gone either way. It is what it is. But I was very surprised that we got that interference call at second. What about you?
I mean, after watching the replay, I think it was obviously interference. The fact that the runner went for his shin
Hmm.
and was just a dirty ass play. I mean, that's baseball 101. I understand if you're sliding, trying to disrupt the thrower from making a whatever,
Yeah,
but that's straight up trying to injure somebody. So I'm glad it got called. It should have got called, in my opinion. Um, Even though, regardless, I don't think Keelan was going to throw him out.
yeah,
So I understand. I think Dean and Keelan doing the whole song and dance afterwards was huge because I think the umpire was like, "Oh yeah, you're actually right. I'm calling
yeah,
that." And if they would have just went with it, I don't think they would have called it.
yeah. It was a big time break because, like you said, I mean, in that inning, Tennessee had just gone up 4-0, and then Florida singles their way into 3 runs, and then I think it was bases loaded, no outs, I think, and we end up getting an out in some form or fashion, and then that play happens. Like it was a huge play in that game, and then we got an insurance run, and Snead finished it out. Man, he looked great out of that pen last
Love
night.
me some Nate Snead.
Yeah, like I don't, and I'm not too concerned about Tanner Franklin, who got singled to death. I mean, a lot of at least two of those were seeing eye because we had him shifted, but he'll bounce back from that. Um,
Well, and it's a
I,
Florida team. I mean, the Florida team could hit. I
yeah,
mean,
Florida's really good, really
Marcus
really
Phillips
good.
didn't let him look like that today.
No, no,
He pitched phenomenal today. I mean, Marcus Phillips. This is the Marcus Phillips we thought we were going to get last year.
yeah. I mean, he's coming into his own. Like he looks like. I mean, he is a junior, but he hasn't pitched a lot in his first 2 years in college, and like he's awesome. Like his pitch mix is good, his location's good, and he also got a lot of help from Stone Lawless today, pegging
Mm-hmm.
runners at second base. I mean,
He looked great.
yeah, and he also had help from Abernathy there in the outfield.
Yeah,
That
twice.
crazy, yeah, that he gunned down the dude at home in the first inning. Then the second inning, that incredible catch, doing his best Hunter Inslee impression,
Yeah.
and that leads into this. I mean, these freshmen. And I again in the infamous group chat during these games, I texted everybody. I said, if Tennessee goes the distance again, the story will be these freshmen, the four that started today. Like,
That'll all be back.
like again, just a testament to the program. I mean, these are the type of players that you get. Like Abernathy, we already talked about. Lawless throwing guys out. Clark, couple big hits today. Like, and Manny Marin, like he's been awesome, and it's very surprising to me. I wouldn't say surprising, but it's a pleasant surprise that the freshmen look like they haven't missed a beat in their first two
Mm-hmm.
games of SEC play. Like there's no, finding their groove against the better competition. They are jumping right in and producing.
But yeah, I mean, Levi Clark double today. I mean, that got the ball rolling for the Tennessee lineup. Manny
Yep.
Marin is my favorite player on this team this year. I don't know why, but he's elite defensively. I mean, he again, like you just said, SEC conference play. It's not like, oh, you come in here as a freshman and just smoke the ball. And so
Yeah.
far this series, Manny has shown why he's the starting third baseman and why he is probably going to stay there. I mean, in the field, two nice hard hit balls went to Manny,
Yeah.
and Nothing got by him. Last year, we were sweating that with Billy Amick.
Yeah, yeah. For as good as Amick's bat was, it was an adventure at third base defensively.
Yeah, and thank God Andrew Fisher is really formed into a nice first baseman right now. But like you said, talk about the freshmen, man. They phenomenal. Stone Wallace looked really good today. Um, Behind the dish because obviously Cannon Peebles is our guy. He's the main catcher. He's your guy. But to have a guy like Stone able to give Cannon that break instead of having him catch every single game, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal to have that. He may not have gotten those hits, but he walked.
Mm-hmm.
He got on base. Um, I do want to give Florida's freshman pitcher a shout out. Aiden King did throw really well, but
Yeah,
once he came out, Tennessee let him know what was up.
yeah. I mean, I've never seen the wheels fall off that quickly for a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bullpen. Okay, King goes 6 innings, allows 4 hits, 1 earned run, awesome performance. Bullpen records 1 out the rest of the game until Tennessee walked it off on the run rule. Like their bullpen got slammed today.
You know what bullpen we use?
Well, what's that?
None.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Marcus Phillips has a complete game win, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. I mean, again, this is the this is what people don't realize is Tennessee is doing this and AJ Russell isn't even playing yet. If
Yeah,
AJ Russell could be full strength, this is a nasty rotation. Absolutely filthy rotation.
yeah, and
And with the lineup too.
yeah, I think we said it last week. Like Tony was speculating that it'll probably be April before we see AJ, and that's probably your Sunday guy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, I mean, I don't feel too bad about it. Like tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it'll probably be the by committee thing since that's what they've been going with. But I trust it.
I think Teagan will probably start.
Yeah,
I
it just
I
depends on
think
how many innings he go. If he's a starter or an opener, you know.
well, I think that to me is like you look at Aiden King. Aiden King does good. Let's say Teagan, whoever gets a start. I'm not saying just for Teagan Coons, but Teagan Coons has been in the situation before. He's pitched for Team USA. He's been in these spots.
Yep.
Let the kid get some innings. If he's pitching well, obviously leave him in. I mean, if he could give you 4 innings, 5 innings, that's massive in a game against Florida, where hopefully your bats could mash on Florida Sunday guy. I don't know who. I'm pretty sure Florida's in the same situation when it
Yeah.
comes to Sunday. So again, let your bats do the talking. Your defense is really good. I mean, let me tell you, how excited are you? And hey, I love Hunter Ensley. I wish he could never leave. The guy he gives his all for Tennessee. But Jay Abernathy in center field next year is going to be
Yeah.
the sexiest thing next to sliced bread, bro. Like,
I don't know how balls are going to get down in center field for Tennessee's opponents next year. Like he covers so much ground so quickly. Like it's pretty crazy. And to give like you're saying the defense credit here, like Phillips did let up a few hard balls today, but they were on line right to our outfielders, and they made the plays. They made good plays in the infield too. Like it was a team effort pitching wise. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Phillips, but sometimes you got to trust the 8 guys behind you, 7 guys behind you, like, and they made the plays, and that's what a team does. I mean, you can't strike out everybody. And to go back to Friday night, I think that's why Liam's pitch count got up a lot. Florida was fouling off balls like nobody's business on
mm-hmm.
Friday night, driving me nuts. Um,
well, hey, Ryan, can you catch up to a 97-mile-an-hour lefty fastball? I don't know.
yeah, I
He
mean,
was living in 96 to 99. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it goes back to how impressive these first 2 games of the series has been. I mean, Florida's a good team. They're ranked 7th in the country. They recruit almost as well as Tennessee does. They have studs all over their roster, and the way we handled them last night in a close game, with all those freshmen making their first appearance, and the way we just blitzed them today in that 7th inning is just a statement that, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, to start this talk, will probably get you ranked number one come the next consensus rankings. And I'm talking to you, D1 baseball. So,
Well, yeah. Are we gonna? I mean, at this point, I mean, LSU's up 7-4 on Missouri. They're most likely going to sweep Missouri. But if
mhm.
Tennessee goes and sweeps Florida, there's no question.
Yeah, it's clearly more impressive. Missouri was losing to directional schools a week ago.
Yeah, and you know what? Nothing. I'm not even hating against LSU. LSU's a good baseball team, and they are. I mean, we're going to play them in a couple weeks. I
Hmm.
mean, in Baton Rouge. So that's where I'm looking forward to seeing our team play is on the road in SEC environments. Um, but again, I don't see any issue. I really don't. The swagger this team has. That first of all, free Birdo. Second of all,
Yeah,
are we going to talk about Dean Curley just going full on Superman with free
that
Birdo
was
shirt on? That dude, and that's what's funny. I was thinking on the way home today from work, and I'm like, that says a lot about Alberto Ozuna. You
yeah,
don't just show up to a team's facility and guys rally around you like that. That means that kid is a hell of a kid, and the NCAA should be ashamed of themselves for
yeah.
mistake, Diego Pavia. No, it's because we owned your ass in court, and you're just sticking it to the man, and they're taking it out on a kid that shouldn't be. Hey, if you want to fix the rule next year and take it away, do that. But you gave it to the Diego Pavia. Alberto Zuna should be playing, and there's no question about it.
100%. And that's where I was going to go with this topic too. Is that Ozuna has to be a stand-up guy because if he does get eligible and he does, pan out and be a good player, he's taking somebody's spot. You know, and they don't seem to care. Like Dean Curley, one of our, I would say probably our second biggest, returning leader coming into this year, besides Hunter Inslee, is out there unbuttoning his shirt after a bases clearing double and giving attention to the guy that they want eligible. I mean, that says a lot about the players, the culture, Tony. It says a lot about everything, but most of all, it says a lot about Berto. Like
Yeah.
it's a joke that this situation is unfolding, and Tony, made his feelings heard in that press conference a few days ago. Like he's not happy with this situation. I mean, they basically are screwing this kid for no good reason. Like he wouldn't have left Tampa if he didn't think he would be eligible here. And that's the bottom
Yeah.
line. And they're sticking it to him for, like you said, probably just a grudge from a year ago. Like
Yeah, you can't. It's the most annoying thing to think about. It's just because we own their ass in court, and the judge doesn't make a mistake like that. Oh yeah, Diego Pavia could play, but I know we're on baseball right now, but I really want to get you irritated. But
okay.
did you see the last Joe Lenardi bracket? From 42 minutes ago, let me read this to you. Florida will be the fourth number one seed in the West region after today's passing of Alabama. So you're telling me if Tennessee beats Florida's ass tomorrow, Tennessee's not the one seed. So Florida could lose tomorrow, and from what that's saying, that it's locked in. That is the absolute dumbest thing I've ever read. And you know what? I never really disagreed with Joe Lenardi until now. Because how does that make sense? How does that make sense?
Well, like I said earlier,
Go win the damn thing. That
yeah, I
should
mean,
that should piss your team off.
yeah, I'm the again, my number one goal is winning tomorrow and getting an SEC tournament title, but we'll cross this bridge when we come to it. I don't really care what Joe Lenardi thinks. I tweeted it from the 1796 Sports Twitter account today. There's a reason this guy's ranked, in the back end of bracketologists. Like this doesn't make any sense. What's going on? He also has Alabama on the same as the second two seed after they just got drilled. Like I don't. It's just nonsense. Like eventually, teams are just not going to play in this thing. because
No,
you'll have a situation like what happened to Duke. Who knows when Cooper Flag's going to play again? I don't know if he's playing right now. I haven't watched that game yet, but
he's not. But we'll
you're
talk about
talking
that
about
after.
you're talking about risking injury and doing all this for nothing. I mean, this is the most impressive thing you can do if Tennessee does this, beating two teams on the 1 seed in 2 days,
Hmm.
and it's not going to mean shit according to Joe Lenardi. Like,
And we beat them before. I understand they routed us at their place, but you routed them at your place, and then if we go beat them on a neutral floor, you're telling me that Tennessee doesn't move up? That's straight garbage. That is straight garbage. And you know what? I don't really give a shit about the 1 seed because I just think it is what it is. But that's just straight terrible at his job. It makes no sense. Um, so here's my thing. So you're telling me if Tennessee wins by 20 tomorrow, Florida's got the 1 seed.
again, I'm glad he's not in charge of this. I'm glad he's just a dude in a bunker. He literally puts it on everything he says. Bristol bunker, uh, on his little PDF that he tweets out. Like, he's a dude in a basement who defrosts every January and tries to do this. And a lot of the times he's wrong. Like I said, he's in the back end as far as bracketologist rankings go. Like, I will be mad about it when it's reality, but it's just a joke that somebody can actually think this is what's going to happen. And if it does,
Yeah.
we will raise hell about it. I mean, nobody raises hell better than the Tennessee fan base.
Yeah, but and that's my thing. Like I said before, dude. Like, well, I just posted it. Someone showed this to the team. You know what? Go kill him tomorrow, man. Like, go make a statement. You want to
Yeah.
make? Hey, that's fine. Give him the 1 seed. Take that energy into March. Take that into that NCAA tournament. Like they're doubting Tennessee. That's how I do it. Take one out of Kirby Smart's dang playbook. Hey, yeah, we're number 1, but they're down you. They don't think you can win.
I
Nothing.
mean,
They think you suck.
that's exactly what people should like. That's exactly what somebody should do tonight. Like,
Oh, they see
any
it. You saw NBA Ball Boys post or Dante Thornton. The players
yeah,
see this shit. They do.
yeah, 100%. Which, this is off topic, but that's why people should watch what they say about players. But anyway, it's would you rather have a 1 seed and lose tomorrow? And I know this isn't a possible scenario. A 1 seed and lose, or a 2 seed and win tomorrow.
No, I'm winning.
Exactly.
Your
Like,
one of your arch rivals in the SEC tournament championship. I'm pretty much at home for. You're in Nashville, Tennessee. That place is going to be orange tomorrow. I guarantee it.
sure.
And yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care about the 1 seed now. It just pisses me off because it makes zero sense. It's not the fact that we didn't get it. It should be whoever wins this game gets the 1 seed. That's what it should
And
be.
for all we know, that's what the committee is saying. So I, for the fourth time tonight, I think my number one priority is cheering these boys on to win tomorrow. We'll deal with our seed after that. Like, I want to beat Florida again so bad and put another number on that SEC tournament title banner in Food City Center. Like, I want it so bad. Like, and it would be a statement, one
Oh
seed
yeah.
or not. 1 seed or not, it would be a statement that this is a team you got to watch out for. And there's something to be said for aura. How would you feel as a coach if you have to play Tennessee and you're like, oh, these guys beat Florida and Auburn in 24 hours of each other?
Yeah,
Like,
won the SEC tournament, and they still gave them a 2 seed.
mm-hmm. So they'll
But
have
yeah,
they'll have a chip, and they really don't need the chip if they go out and do this tomorrow. So, you got any more thoughts tonight, man?
no, I'm really curious on what's going to happen if we win tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting. And what's funny is not like I'm not nervous about Selection Sunday. I mean, we're in. I mean, everyone,
Yeah,
you're in. You're a 2 seed, whatever. But what happens if you win?
yeah,
What's going to happen? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. That's why I wanted to come on here tonight and talk about it. It's like what's going to happen. It's an interesting situation, especially with Reed and Joe Lenardi's last thing. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, no, I think the Vols easily could win it. I mean, we beat them by 20. They beat us by 20. I mean, again, Tennessee is the better team here, in my opinion. Florida's the better offensive team, but defense wins championships, and we're going to see it tomorrow.
And then you've already mentioned it yet in the home court advantage. I mean, at worst, it'll be like 70-30. So I'm not counting out these Vols one bit. I didn't do it today. They went out and did it. Why not do it tomorrow again? So,
Yeah,
with that being said, go Vols.
go Vols.